Hey y'all, it's Miss Flores. So today we're going to be talking about benchmark fractions. So sometimes you'll encounter problems and it'll ask you to estimate an addition or subtraction with fractions, right? Well, before when we were estimating with decimals, we'd have to round our decimals to a certain place value. With fractions, we round them to what are called benchmark fractions. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So let's look at our first problem. So our first problem, let's say we had 1/6 plus 3/8, and we wanted to estimate. When we're estimating with fractions, we estimate to what are called benchmark fractions. Our benchmark fractions are either 0, 1/2, or 1/2. So we're basically trying to figure out, are our fractions closer to 0, 1/2, or 1/2? And we'll round them to that. So let's say I had 1/6. What I like to do is I like to draw pictures to help me visualize. So for 1/6, I could draw a picture of it, right? This would be 1/6, right? That one little triangle piece is my 1/6. And for 3/8, I could do the same thing. I could draw another picture. Now the thing with your picture, you just gotta make sure that you double check that you drew the correct amount of pieces, right? So for 3/8, I'd color in 3 pieces, which would be like this. So now, if I'm estimating these, I'm going to round them to either 0, 1/2, or 1/2. I like to think about it as pizzas, right? Is this closer to 0 pizza, half a pizza, or a whole pizza, right? So 1/6, I would say 1/6 is probably closer to 0 pizzas, right? You wouldn't have 1 out of 6 slices and invite your friends over for pizza, right? You've only got 1 slice. That's 0 pizzas. 3/8, I would say that's closer to 1/2. Right? Because it's basically half a pizza, right? It's only 1 slice away from being half a pizza. So our 1/6 plus 3/8 could be estimated to be 0 plus 1/2. Well, 0 plus 1/2 is just 1/2. So that means that estimating 1/6 plus 3/8 would estimate to 1/2. And that's how we estimate with fractions using benchmark fractions. Like I said, thinking about them as pizzas makes it seem a lot easier. So let's try the next one. Now here we've got an estimating problem, but now we are subtracting. We've got 9/10 minus 5/8. Remember, we're rounding it to 0, 1/2, or 1/2, right? So I'm going to draw my pictures. So I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So your pictures won't always be exact, but they kind of get you the general idea, right? So 9/10 is going to be 9 out of these 10 slices colored in. So I'd have all but one of them colored in. And then my 5/8, I'd have 5 of those 8 pieces colored in. All right. So now I'm going to round these to either be 0, 1/2, or 1/2. Well, let's look at my 9/10. Well, that is 1 slice away from being an entire pizza, right? So comparing it to either 0, 1/2, or 1/2, I would say this is pretty close to 1/2 pizza, right? It's 1 whole pizza minus 1 slice. That's pretty close. And 5/8, it's just a smidge over 1/2, right? It's not close enough to be 1/2. It's closer to 1/2, so I would definitely estimate 5/8 to be 1/2. And then we're subtracting, right? 1/2 minus 1/2. Well, 1 minus 1/2, that's easy enough mental math that we know that that would be 1/2, right? Because 2 halves make 1/2. So 1 minus 1/2 is equal to 1/2. So 9/10 minus 5/8 would estimate to be about 1/2. Let's look at the next one. We've got another addition problem. So remember, we're estimating these are our benchmark fractions. Our benchmarks are 0, 1/2, and 1/2, right? Those are the easiest fractions to deal with. So let's look at 5/6. So 5/6, if I drew my picture, would be 5 out of these 6 pieces, right? So I'd have all but one of them colored in. And then 3/8, oh, that's kind of big, would be 3 of those pieces. And now I can help visualize to see if this is closer to being 0, 1/2, or 1 whole. Well, 5/6, that's all but 1, right? That's basically, if I had 6 slices, I got 5 of them. That's close to being a whole pizza. So I would say that would be 1. And 3/8, it's only 1 slice away from being a whole pizza, right? If my pizza is 8 slices. So I would say that this would be, or not a whole pizza, half a pizza, right? We have 3 out of the 8 slices, so that would be like 1/2. And this was an addition problem. So we have 1 whole plus 1/2. Well, that's 1 and 1/2, right? So 5/6 plus 3/8 would estimate to be about 1 1/2. All right, these next two, before we look at y'all's assignment, go ahead and pause this, try to draw your own pictures, and see how you do with these problems. So you can pause here, try them out on your own, and then play it back to check your answers. So we've got 5/9 minus 3/8. So remember, we're estimating our fractions. We're rounding them to see if they're closer to 0, 1/2, or 1 whole. Those are our benchmarks. So 5/9. Ninths is kind of tricky to draw because you kind of have to just guess a little bit. Oh. So we got 1, 4, 5, 6, 8. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces. All right. So for my ninths, I'd have 5 of them colored in, right? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my 3/8. Eighths are always easy to draw. You just keep splitting everything in half. And then 3/8, we've had that quite a bit. We're going to color in 3 of those pieces. All right, so here I have my fractions drawn out kind of help us visualize. So my 5/9, if I'm looking at that, that is pretty close to 1/2, right? It's just a little bit more than half a pizza. So I'm going to say 5/9 is close to 1/2. And 3/8, we've done that a couple times. That's pretty close to being half a pizza as well. That's only 1 slice off. So we're going to say that's 1/2. So now our problem is 1/2 minus 1/2. Well, 1/2 minus 1/2 is 0. So that means that 5/9 minus 3/8 would estimated round to 0 because I'm basically doing 1/2 minus 1/2. All right, let's look at our last problem. For our last problem, we've got 5/6 plus 2/5. 5/6 plus 2/5. So let's draw our 5/6. Remember, we're estimating our fractions to be either 0, 1/2, or 1 whole. So 5/6. Oh, that circle looks terrible. Let's try that again. All right, 5/6. That'd be 5 out of those 6 pieces, right? And then our 2/5. There we go. Our 2/5 would be 2 out of those 5 pieces. All right. So looking at those, my 5/6 is pretty close to being 1 whole pizza, right? It's just only 1 slice less than 1 whole. So I would say that's about 1 whole pizza. Our 2/5, that's a little bit less than half, right? A little bit less than half of my circles colored in. So I would say that's 1/2. So then I end up with 1 whole plus 1/2. Well, that's going to equal 1 and 1/2. So 5/6 plus 3/5 is about 1 and 1/2. So that's estimating with adding and subtracting fractions. We round them to be our benchmarks, which are either going to be 0, 1/2, or 1 whole. And I draw pictures to help me visualize what they look like, because that helps me a lot, and I think that would help y'all a lot out too. So let's go ahead and take a look at today's assignment. All right, y'all, here's your assignment for today. It looks kind of similar to what we used earlier in the video lesson, but they are different questions. So make sure that you are answering those properly. So you've got 14 questions, and all these questions we are going to be estimating. So we are not solving like how we have in the past where you find a common denominator. We're going to be drawing pictures of our fractions, seeing if they're closest to 0, 1 whole, or 1/2, and then putting our answer. Every single answer box has a space for a whole, and a leftover fraction. Not all of your answers will have a whole or a leftover fraction, but they are there just in case you have both. So if your answer is just 1 whole, you would just type, oops, if your answer is just 1 whole, you would just type 1, right? If your answer was 1/2, you would put 1 and 1/2. If your answer was just 1/2, you would just say 1/2, and you wouldn't put anything there. So whatever you don't have, just don't type anything in that spot, and you will be fine. On the last 2 questions, you do have word problems. Slide 14 is the only multiple choice problem. So remember, it says about. About means we are estimating, right? And for you selecting whichever option you want, you can just go to your shape tool, right? Click shapes, add a circle, and you could just put a circle over whichever answer choice you think is the most correct to fill that in. And then slide 15, it's just a word problem, but it's like our other problems where you're just going to type in your answer at the bottom. So we'll go over whatever questions y'all want to when we meet back up later on today. And well, I'll let you know if you have any questions, type it in the comments, and I'll help y'all out there. Have a great day, guys. Bye.